this on our computer here. But hey, I'm here in Gatlinburg, Tennessee for our Legacy Builders Men's Retreat. And you can see my bear back there. He's just asleep, so we don't have to worry about him. He crept in here sometime late last night. But anyway, here we go. 31 Days of Wisdom. We are in day 15. And this has been pretty awesome to read through, and I just love reading through it in the Passion Translation. But today, day 15, Proverbs 15, we're talking about God's wisdom or your own wisdom. In this chapter, chapter 15, it's really marked by how many times it uses God's personal covenant name, Yahweh, right? Or as we say here in English, the Lord, right? And as you read through Proverbs, we hear a lot about good behavior, and we hear a lot about wealth and making wise choices. And we've heard a lot about lady wisdom and the adulterous woman. But really, this book of Proverbs is not simply about being a good person, but being a person who's being changed by a personal relationship with the Lord. So as you read through chapter 15 here, check out how many times it uses God's personal covenant name, Yahweh, or the Lord. So here we go. Let's jump in here to chapter 15, reading through the Passion Translation. Here we go. Respond gently when you are confronted, and you'll diffuse the rage of another. Responding with sharp, cutting words will only make it worse. Don't you know that being angry can ruin the testimony of even the wisest of men? Right? That's tough, right? Responding gently when you are confronted, but it's that wise man who can control his anger and control his emotions. And honestly, it talks throughout here, and even in the book of James, it talks about the tongue is in evil, right? And it's hard to control, and it takes a supernatural control. That's something we have to give over to the Holy Spirit. Here we go, verse 2. When wisdom speaks, understanding becomes attractive, but the words of the fool make their ignorance look laughable. The eyes of the Lord are everywhere, and he takes note of everything that happens. He watches over his lovers, and he also sees the wickedness of the wicked. When you speak healing words, you offer others fruit from the tree of life. I love that, right? We've talked about earlier that the words of the wise is kind of like a fountain of living water. Are the words that you are saying, the words that are coming out of your mouth, are they healing words? Are you offering other people fruit from the tree of life? I love that. The other part of that, but unhealthy negative words do nothing but crush their hopes. You're stupid to mock the instruction of a father, but welcoming correction will make you brilliant. There is power in the house of the righteous, but the house of the wicked is filled with trouble, no matter how much money they have. When wisdom speaks, revelation knowledge is released. But finding true wisdom in the word of a fool is futile. It is despicable to the Lord when people use the worship of the Almighty as a cloak for their sin. We could probably dive into that. We see that a lot, especially in the Bible Belt in the South. I think about it. It says it is despicable to the Lord. Well, how about that? When people use the worship of the Almighty as a cloak for their sin. I'll let you think in on that for a little bit. The Lord detests the lifestyle of the wicked, but he loves those who pursue purity. Severe punishment awaits the one who turns away from the truth, and those who rebel against correction will die. Even hell itself holds no secret from the Lord, for all is exposed before his eyes, and so much more the heart of every human. The know-it-all, that old know-it-all, that know-it-all never esteems the one who tries to correct him. He refuses to seek good advice from the wise. The know-it-all, they stuck in their place. They will not receive correction, right? Here we go, 13. A cheerful heart puts a smile on your face, but a broken heart leads to depression. Lovers of God hunger after truth, but those without understanding feast on foolishness and don't even realize it. I love that. The lovers of God hunger after truth, hunger and thirst for the truth. Jesus said, in the Sermon on the Mountain, that those that hunger shall be filled, right? Everything seems to go wrong when you feel weak and depressed, but when you choose to be cheerful, every day will bring you more and more joy and fullness. You think about that. It's a choice. It's a choice. Your attitude is a choice. Your emotions are a choice. Today I can choose to be happy. Today I can choose to be sad, mad, or glad. You've probably, if you followed any of my stuff, you've heard the story about our son coming to me. He was mad. He was so mad that little bottom lip was just a quiver, and he was mad. And I asked him, I said, Colton, what's wrong, man? And he said, well, Brady made me so mad. Brady was his younger brother. He just said something to him, right? And he said, he made me so mad. And I said, Colton, if somebody else can make you mad, if somebody else can make you sad, if somebody else can make you glad, then you've been had, right? If somebody else can make you sad, mad, or glad, you've been had, because what you've done is you've given them control over the one thing you have control over, and that's your emotions. Your emotions are a choice. We also see in where Solomon writes too, not in Proverbs, but he talks about there's a time in the season. There's a time to be sad. There's a time to be glad. There's a time to be, for everything. There's a time in the season for everything, but you choose. Right here he says, but when you choose to be cheerful, every day will bring you more and more joy and fullness. I choose to be happy. 16, it's much better to live simply and surrounded in holy awe and worship of God than to have great wealth with a home full of trouble. It is much better to have a kind, loving family, even with little, than to have great wealth and nothing but hatred and strife all around you. A touchy, hot-tempered man picks a fight, but the calm, patient man knows how to silence strife. Nothing seems to work right for the lazy man. But life seems smooth and easy when your heart is virtuous. When a son learns wisdom, a father's heart is glad, but the man who shames his mother is a foolish son. The senseless fool treats life like a joke, but the one with living understanding makes good choices. Your plans will fall apart right in front of you if you fail to get good advice. But if you first seek out multiple counselors, you'll watch your plans succeed. We talked about this the other day in one of the other chapters about how important it is to surround yourself with people who think, right? And guarding your associations well. And when you go to ask somebody what they think to gain wise counsel, first make sure they think, right? Who are you allowing to speak into you? 23, everyone enjoys giving great advice, but how delightful it is to say the right thing at the right time. The path of the prudent lifts them progressively heavenward, delivering them from the death spiral that keeps tugging them downward. The Lord champions the widow's cause, but watch him as he smashes down the houses of the haughty. The Lord detests the wicked ways of thinking, but he enjoys lovely and delightful words. The one who puts earning money above his family will have trouble at home, but those who refuse to exploit others will live in peace. Lovers of God think before they speak, but the careless, they blurt out wicked words meant to cause harm. The Lord doesn't respond to the wicked, but he's moved to answer the prayers of his godly lovers. Eyes that focus on what is beautiful bring joy to the heart, and hearing a good report refreshes and strengthens the inner being. Accepting constructive criticism opens your heart to the path of life, making you right at home among the wise. Refusing constructive criticism shows you have no interest in improving your life. For revelation insight only comes as you accept correction and the wisdom that it brings. The source of revelation knowledge is found. Where do you find it? Oh, right here it tells it. As you fall down and surrender before the Lord. Don't expect to see Shekinah glory until the Lord sees your sincere humility. And that is all over Proverbs right there, that God opposes the proud, but he gives grace, he gives favor to the humble. Hey, I hope this added value to you. Go through Proverbs and really just allow the Holy Spirit to highlight a verse for you. Out of all the Proverbs there in chapter 15, which one is really highlighted to you? And really just sit in on that and ask the Lord what he's trying to say to you through that. Hey, hope today has added value to you. Appreciate you guys. Look forward to seeing you back tomorrow. And our 31 days of wisdom will be in chapter 16. You guys have a great day and God bless.